Many people ask me, why are you going to a place like Mount Washington? The weather is terrible. People die on this mountain. Why would you want to go and run a marathon? And there are a number of reasons why. I think the biggest thing that comes to my mind is just the fact that it's challenging. I thrive on things that are somewhere between difficult and dangerous. And to me, going into the elements that are really some of the most harsh conditions in the world to attempt a marathon, to me, while it might appear to be foolish or even dangerous to a lot of people, to me, it's absolutely thrilling. I mean, what my aim in this is not just to complete the run, but to complete it in a way that, you know, I'm really fighting every step of the way, and every single minute that I'm up there engaged in this, I want it to be a very challenging and a very difficult time. I've known of Mount Washington since I was a kid because I grew up skiing in Vermont. And it never dawned on me to actually try and run a marathon on the summit.
When I tell you that that's the coldest spot in the United States, I'm probably correct. I would say that you better turn around. Because you have to let intelligence prevail.
Okay, well, let's go see your torture chamber.
Let's go. The marathon course.
Whoever's last out, make sure the door is closed. What we'll do is we'll put a small rope, so even if you got your eyes closed, you'll hit a rope and you know you're at the end, kind of like a swimmer hits the pool. Yep. So you won't hit the wall here.
And I'll know an average number of steps too that will...
And this is right here is where you're going to get blasted. You'll get over there, it isn't going to be quite so bad. But the northwest wind is going to be really kick-ass right here.
This is where all the action is, right here.
Right here. So we're lucky that the winds are nice to us right now to give us a chance to set this up.
I mean, right now it's sort of the calm before the storm, but the weather systems are changing. We know it's going to get really intense up here. First mile. It's a very different kind of a challenge running in the dark when you're by yourself. You sort of lose. The winds got to about 60 miles an hour and they knock you pretty good. So between being disoriented from not being able to see where you're going and the winds sort of kicking you around, I was running into the static lines quite a bit, and a couple times I didn't know which direction I was going. So that's a little disorienting, but it's fun. I mean, it's all part of the challenge. And you know, I got shot in the face last night at 60 miles an hour, so that's okay. I got a little disoriented last night, but I got a little confused on which direction I was going. Then you just have to reach out and, you know, kind of grab the lines and stuff. This was nothing other than just a long practice run. That's how I see it. This is a training run for another event. It just happens to be, you know, a unique training run and a unique experience that I can talk about and that I can remember forever. I would say probably, though, if I had to pick a favorite part, it was definitely being in the dark and being a little disoriented and being a little bit spooked. The fear of the unknown with the euphoria of doing something you haven't done. So right in the same instant. And that's a very strange emotional zone to be in because you're not in that zone very often. And it's new, and you don't really know how to process it. You don't know what to think about it. It's such a different experience that you go, wow, this is kind of cool. And that's the gold medal in these kind of things that I do. Is it's the experience, it's the psyche, it's the emotional and physical and mental experience of, you know, trying something you haven't tried, you know, sort of raising your own bar, so to speak, and trying to accomplish something that you haven't done before. And you're building that muscle
called self-confidence that you can carry, into other events or into my work, into my marriage, into, everything I do in my life. When the guys that work here 30 years tell me they never had something like this, that sort of tells you that it's not common. But I mean, everybody sort of has their own Mount Washington that they want to tackle, and that they want to take on and face. Mine just happens to be literal. So this is my first time here. I'll be back. This was much more difficult psychologically because of the different weather elements, the dark, the wind. The winds were higher here than they were in the Antarctic, and in the Antarctic we didn't have any darkness to contend with. It is a lot of what I expected. The fog, the wind, the unknown, the cold. The cold here is much colder than it is in say, Colorado, and I know you know that because you live there. And in the Antarctic, the cold is not a real stinging, biting cold because it's very arid. Here it's much more humid, and so it tends to sting a bit more. Here, you're in the middle of America and not very far from cities like Montreal and Boston and big towns. So in that way, you're right amongst a lot of people, but yet because it's dark and there's nobody up here and there's the unknown factors, that part of it made me feel like it was more lonely and more remote than Antarctica. I'm glad it's over, but I'm sort of sad that it's over as well, because I really enjoy experiences like this. I really enjoy, being in the element of challenge and in the element of difficulty. Part of me looks forward to getting back to normal life, and part of me doesn't, because I really enjoy things that are a push. But there's plenty of pushes in everyday life, that's for sure. They're just a different kind of push. Now it's over. Back to San Diego.